whenever we think about emotions, unless you stop and think about what triggers somebody to get upset and angry, unless you stop to think about the person who, when there is conflict, they just kind of crawl in their shell and they stop communicating. Unless you start to think of those things, you just keep going on and on each day and you don't pay any attention. So if you think about as a couple, and as a couple, they don't pay any attention to why they're having conflict, top emotions can literally be the problem on that. Even if it's a team at work, you can recognize these same things, these top emotions. So when you're looking at top emotions, the first thing we think about is that person who gets angry easily. They're mad easily. I like to use the story of my little grandson when he was 2. He's 5 now, but whenever he was 2 years old, I was watching him one day, taking care of him. We were outside playing, and he fell down and he skinned his knee. Now, when a little kid skins their knee, what do you expect from them usually? They usually cry, right? So he skinned his knee and it's bleeding, but he gets up, he's just 2 years old, and he does not start crying. I expect him to cry. He doesn't cry. He looks at his knee and he is mad. He's mad that the flesh is gone from his knee and it is bleeding. And so, knowing the behavior styles, I understand that there's a particular style, and that is the D style person, that literally they get mad. And so as a little kid, if he's hungry, he may act like he's mad. If he's tired, he may act like he's mad. If a grown person is stressed, they're going to act mad. And so that really helps whenever, if you are married to somebody or you work with somebody at work and literally they get angry all the time, it's not about you. So often whenever somebody's angry, we think it's about us. What did we do? But literally it's not about you. Number one, they're direct, and they're just, if they're upset about something, that's just how it's going to go. But number two, any of those other things, hunger, tired, stressed, any of those kind of things can make that person angry. And then on the other hand, one of the styles, I talked about the S earlier, they literally are non-emotional. Now, that doesn't mean they don't have any emotions, because they certainly are emotional on the inside. They're a person who really pays attention. They are great listeners, and they are emotional persons. But literally on the outside, they don't show any emotion. So let's say we have that D, and they are angry when they come in from work because they've had a hard day, or they're tired or stressed at work. And they take it out on their S personality, that easygoing person. And that S person they're not going to show any emotions. But once they're kind of badgered time after time after time from that angry personality, that S is not going to fight back. And if they don't fight back, the D literally likes a little bit of challenge. And so this is kind of where our emotions come in. The D likes a challenge, doesn't like somebody not to fight back. They want you to fight back. And the S does not want to fight back. They're not going to fight back. So you can see how that could be a challenge in a relationship. An emotion for the high I is optimism. And that means that no matter what goes on, like something major's going on, like some of the stuff we have going on with the coronavirus right now. So the high I looks at it in a positive manner. They assume that everything will be okay. So, and the opposite of the high I and the emotion of the C personality is fear. So that means every time there's something said on TV, they're going to think about the worst thing that can happen from that. And so when it comes to the top emotions, it doesn't mean the C personality is a fearful, scared kind of person. It just means that when anything is going on around them, they look at the glass half empty, the glass half empty instead of half full. And the high I, since they are an optimist, they're always going to look at the glass full. Actually, they only see it half full or full. So they acknowledge the positive. So you can see if you had a high I and you had a high C personality and you put those two together, the I is like, to the C, they're saying, hey, Don't you ever have a good thought or something good to think about? But the C is thinking about everything that can go wrong. And the I is just focusing on what's going right or what could go right. And they just assume the best. So that's kind of where that comes out with the emotions. So you can see with couples how the opposites, but at the same time, they complement each other and they keep each other balanced as long as they're not too far to the right or too far to the left.